I'm relaunching Simple File Upload, and I really wanted a modern front end experience. This is an area that I've always struggled with. And so I decided to add Inertia to my existing Rails application. Unfortunately, I have to keep the old application for my existing users. I can't migrate them over. And so I actually dual booted. It's not dual booting, but you know what I mean. Inertia. So I have an Inertia front end, and I also have a Hotwire Stimulus HTML ERB front end. So I want to show you how I did that because I think it's pretty cool and it could be pretty useful for people who want to add just a little bit of React to their application. Here's the current application. You can see it's a grid, and you can see looking at the code, it's just standard HTML ERB, exactly what you'd expect. The reason I wanted to modernize it is one, I want you to be able to hide this nav bar. If you look at the documentation pages here, they just look old to me. They just don't look modern, even with, you know, some of the things I have done to try to improve them. I just wanted to redo the whole thing. So that's what we have now is we have basic HTML, ERB. I'm using Stimulus. I'm using Hotwire. Okay, so what did I do to add Inertia? If you go into the Inertia docs, they tell you basically how to add it. It's not too bad. Let me show you what I have here. I namespaced the new set of controllers under React. So I have my React application controller. This is going to be my entry point for Inertia. So all of this is basically just from the Inertia docs. You can look that up. The way Inertia works in Rails is it lets you build SPAs without creating an API, which is pretty cool. So let me show you. Let's look at the dashboard page. So React dashboard controller. You can see I have here render Inertia React dashboard index props, and then I serialize the props and I send them to the front end. So let's look at what that page actually looks like. So if I look at the actual React dashboard index page, you can see that this is a React component, and check this out. Here's what the new dashboard looks like. You come in, you have everything in a nice table. If you click on it, you get a preview. I also have real-time image resizing, so you can see how to resize your images when you're serving them. All of this is React, and it's mostly ShadCN. So like some of the things I love about ShadCN is like this. That kind of stuff. I have built it before with Hotwire Stimulus Turbo. It's fine. But this literally came out of the box for me. This whole UI came out of the box. So I'm obsessed with it. And look at my documentation pages. Okay, look at how beautiful that is versus what I had before. Comparison. JavaScript events before, JavaScript events after. These documentation pages were completely built by Opus. Like this was, the AI is just so good. And again, of course you can do this with HTML, but I wanted to really dive into React and Inertia. So Inertia is pretty straightforward. It seems to be working fine. The only place where it was a little tricky, because I tried to completely separate my old, and I had Bootstrap too. So like Bootstrap and Tailwind Inertia, the only place where it was a little tricky where there were few areas that I had to share a controller. And that was like, if you go into account here, this page, I'm sharing the account edit controller with both front ends. So there's only like two or three where I'm doing that, 2 or 3 controllers where I'm doing that. Let me show you what I did there. So where I'm sharing the controller, React application controller. So this is actually in account users controller. And what I'm doing there to switch is if request is Inertia, render the account, the Inertia page. Otherwise, we'll just render the usual HTML page. So this seems to be working great. It's given me a front end that I'm really, really pumped about. I know React has its own issues, but the AI is so good at React. Getting a lot of this up and running has been relatively painless. If you're using Inertia, I'd love to hear about your experience.